How's it going, everyone? I'm corrupting Luigi's mansion. Right now in the background we got Ghostly Galaxy from Super Mario Galaxy playing. All those Spooktober vibes going on. The format of this will be very similar to our previous corruption streams. We're still doing glitch harvesting, still creating a stockpile. Instead of, the classic systems, we'll be doing it with the GameCube, which I have a little bit of a different interface, so let's take a look at that. Alright, we'll get started here. I'm just real quick plugging in a controller, because I didn't have one ready at the beginning of the stream. My wire for my controller is starting to get wrapped around itself, where it gotta stop wrapping it around the controller. Anyways, we'll get started here by pulling up our new looking window. It looks a little bit different than normal. Again, we are going to be using the glitch harvester, so you can see some familiar windows here. At the top we have, am I capturing my mouse? Let's see. We have the intensity meter, which is similar to how many corruptions we're applying to the ROM that we're going to look at. However, we have two different parameters. One I won't be messing with, which is blast range, and the other one that's starting address. Now, previously we were messing with just specific memory domains that were specified within the real-time corrupter. Here we have a less generic type of memory domain. Really, we have access to the entire memory base, and we have to sort of guess and check on where we're going to corrupt. Depending on the specific ROM we corrupt, the beginning range could have something to do with graphics, maybe the middle range could have to do with music, the ending one could have to do with 3D objects. We really don't know, and we'll figure that out as we go along. Next up, right below that, we have the stockpile manager. We're familiar with that. It looks very similar to how it does in the glitch harvester. So as we find corruptions within our stash history, which are the save states that we create, throw them over to the stockpile manager if we like them, and towards the end of the stream I will upload that and you can feel free to download it and play it. The last one, well, actually you can't see the engine that we can use. There's two engines that are available to us, the Nightmare engine and the Vector engine. Vector I didn't get to use a lot in the older systems, but it's going to be a valuable resource now for the 3D systems because vectors are everything. So we'll be using the Vector engine specifically because we don't want to, it will crash less often if we corrupt with vectors, specific rights, put it very simply. And lastly, we have just a button that says blast target and the three other options which we won't be hitting as much. And without further ado, let's go ahead and, well, I guess I'm mid-playing. There's no like reboot core. I have to get familiar with Dolphin, which I'm not as familiar with Dolphin as I am with Sock. But you only can corrupt with Dolphin because you're using those save states. You're not using Socks. So I have already pre-created a save state, which is at the beginning of the game, and actually I should be able to load that. So I'm going to hit play, load state. You won't be able to see my Dolphin save state information since that has some of my name within that. I don't know when I release that information, but let's see. I'd like to just load my save state. Plus, just with a very small intensity and at the 0 address, and that should just load the save state.
Hello?
Maybe not. Let's see here. And okay. So here's our safe state here. And just the normal, walking through the woods, I like to see if we can mess with the camera angle, Luigi, the music, etc, etc. So, we'll up the intensity. Before we had very small amounts of intensity that we could write with. So turn that down a bit, turn my ears. Before we had a lot less memory that or intensity that we can mess with. Now we have, in the range of 5 million intensity, this whole range here. We're going to start off with smaller intensity though, the 10,000 works. And our starting address, we're going to have to guess and check. We'll start just right here at the beginning. 33, what is that, 3 million? Anyways, start here. Blast target. So my stash history, so let's see. I need to reset a couple things here. Make sure everything goes through smoothly. That's working properly. So we don't see anything here. You will notice that the side of Luigi's cheekbone is actually kind of fading in and out. That is normal, and that's actually just how I have my graphical settings for Dolphin set up automatically. It has something to do with how it stores objects. So that's actually always going to be there, so don't worry about that. But let's move on. I'm going to keep everything the same, just a couple blasts. Alright, so we have one on the second go. Get along, Luigi! Oh man, I wish he still had the sheet of paper in front of him. Because that's good. I would almost want to throw this in the stockpile, but I think it's preventing me from doing that. Oh no, he's still there! God. Let's see, it's not as easy to load a save state as before, it appears. It's not just click it within the stash history. You load it from here. Yeah, that's how we're gonna load it. So, I don't have this window available. There's another third window that you can't see, called the Dolphin Save State Info. If I need to go back to a save state that we created, I'm gonna go through there. So, I'm not gonna keep this one, however, it is definitely a fun one. We're gonna move on. A little bit of tree corruption, invisible trees. I do believe we have boost. Oh, we have a little bit of boost. Now from there, we'll move on some more. It actually almost looks spooky because the trees are even more, like, less... What should I phrase it? They have even less light hitting them. It looks much darker. I kinda like the aesthetic of that. So, corruptions are gonna be, I'm gonna say, quote-unquote, easier for this. So if I notice ones in the past, if I notice, like, even a slightly interesting corruption, I'll throw it on the stockpile. For these, I'm gonna throw ones that are just super interesting if I actually enjoy them. This one, for example, even though it's cool, I like the light of it. I'm not gonna throw it on the stockpile, because I think I don't know if I would actually be interested in seeing this. But we'll move on. Luigi's hat's driving him back. I kinda dig that one, I might throw that on. Depends if he still has the hat corruption. Now it disappears, so... But it's only the first couple seconds, let's move on. Oh, by the way, epilepsy and seizure warning for the entire stream. There are some blight rates, flashing lights, sounds. If you're prone to that, I don't recommend watching corruption streams, at least mine. Just in case. Our just shirts trailing back there. Alright, let's mess with some of these parameters now. We haven't found anything we want to throw in the stockpile yet. We'll increase the intensity a bit. Just a tiny bit. Just all. Get the hat again. much there. Got a wonky camera on this one. Just a couple seconds late. Every once in a while we may get a purple screen. I'm guessing that's because we're just messing with the vector engine, we're not actually going to get a full-on crash, or at least we're unlikely to do so. This purple screen will be our enemy of the crash. That's kind of neat. Everything's gone but Luigi. But unfortunately it doesn't stay. Which might be the case. Like, it may never stay after that first scene, because these objects are loaded in after the fact. You know, I kind of like that one. Let's throw this in. We have to name it, so we'll call it Silent Luigi Downhill. Something like that. A lot of fog, but whatever. It's actually much smaller, so it's much harder to see. Oh, we do have a blast editor. Okay. So, what I'm also gonna do on top of this, shoot. Alright. I have a new window set up, which looks all nice, but I'm gonna mess it up now. I have to add another window in just for the blast editor, because I want people to see that as I disable corruptions. Because everyone needs to sanitize their corruptions if they're gonna be doing any type of corrupting. It's very helpful. It prevents, increases stability in the end. We're going to do a window capture, and that window capture is going to be the blast editor, and we need to match the title. And that we're just going to throw, that's good. I usually X off the blast editor, which will remove it from OBS. Does that look alright? Yeah, it's fine to me. I'll adjust it later on when I do more streams of GameCube corruptions. From here, should be capturing my mouse, I am. We're going to remove half the corruption that we created and see if the effect that we wanted persists after the fact. So we're going to try that. And we'll disable half of these corruptions and execute. In this case, we notice that corruption that we're looking for is still happening, even with half of these memory writes disabled. It's perfect. So we're going to remove the ones that we disabled from this window. And we're going to repeat that process and see if the corruption still persists. That's perfect, so you just quickly go through this again. In this case, we notice that Luigi looks normal, or as normal as Luigi can look, and the corruption didn't persist, so we're going to invert the ones that we disabled, because it's probably in the other half of this corruption stockpile. And it is, which is perfect, so now we can remove the ones that are disabled. And now our blast layer size is down to 25, so we're almost finished here. I'm just going to quickly run through this. Okay, perfect. So here we have the one line that does this corruption. It sets... I can't even read this as easily as the other blast editor. But essentially it sets this memory address with this value to create this corruption. And every time we load the save state, it will be the same thing, and we don't have to worry about any kind of other graphical or glitches occurring along the line. In case you actually want to play this outright, from beginning to end, at least for the most part, it should be stable. So from here, we're going to send this to our stash down here. I can now X off this window. And this most recent one in our stash history is that corruption. We can throw that on the stockpile. Call this, again, Silent Luigi. And there's two of those, so we're just going to delete the first one, because that one is our messy version. And we now have a perfect Silent Luigi in our stockpile. And from there we can move along and create some more. And since it takes a little bit longer to create those, he's dragging a lot, those sanitized corruptions, that's why we usually want to stick with the more interesting ones, especially when doing such a high intensity. Some fractals. It's a dragging Luigi. Alright, we're going to change our starting address. We're going to move that up a little bit. I've seen it. That worked. I seem to be noticing a lot of non-existent graphics. I lowered the intensity down a little bit. Nothing inappropriate here. Alright, let's change our starting address, and we're going to raise the intensity a lot this time. Higher intensities will take a little bit longer to write. So the higher intensity, you'll notice more latency in between the save states loading. Ooh, we actually didn't create a crash this time, look at that. Made it fairly fast to boot back up, so let's see. That was fairly fast. I was lowering the intensity down a little bit. Now we're back up and running. Backwards flashlight. Now let's try middle of the spectrum. Let's do the same. This may approach where I think this middle area was where sound options started to occur for me when I was just testing this out ahead of time. I'm sure it would work right. They're not seeing a lot of graphical issues. And I'm more interested in the graphical ones, at least to start off, so I'm going to bring the starting address back. We'll go actually really close to the beginning, 20,000. Let's go even closer. Let's bring it just there. 50,000. These numbers I'm reading are way off. This is 500,000. Shoot. Oh, gosh. Since we have such a high address amount, I'm not going to get these numbers exactly right. Lower intensity. I have the desire to turn that intensity as high as it'll go, but I know that'll instantly crash, so I'm not worried about it. Too bad is it's hard to adjust the starting address easily because there's such a large range. So it's like 0 or 55, 335. No in between. That is the limitation of my mouse. Haha. To leave it at the beginning, we'll just leave it there. Messing with that. A lot of crashes towards that beginning range. You may bring it down a little bit. Go down here. Luigi tweaks out. Ah, it's an interesting camera change. Usually don't get to see out here, but then again you could just do no clip. But you probably you probably good to go. Luigi's arms up. Kind of nice, like, distance. Oh, is that the well from earlier? Ah, that's the well. Oh, it probably can't be the same one. I meant later in the game when you, to the backyard. Oh, a cool camera lock. We'll move on. Move on with the crash. I like to create an auto start script. Or batch file or something like that. Detect when the window closes to to automatically start it up again. That would involve coding, which I have not been in high spirits to do lately. No Luigi. This must be ranges where all the camera effects are happening. It's... Oh man, that is some trippy effects. We'll change the starting address a bit more. A lot of guess and check. A whole lot of guess and check. Oh, we're getting upside down, Luigi. Neat. Thanks, the Rosa Wolf, I appreciate it. Luigi's a ball. Yeah, I know it's Wolfie. I was calling you by your name. The model's just destroyed. I like the beginning of this. I like the beginning of this. I don't know if I want to keep it here. Let's load that save state. Thank you, I appreciate it. You have fun too. I'm not gonna keep. That's a good one, but I'm not gonna keep this one. This is not amazing. So we're gonna keep moving along. Well, our stockpile is kind of empty though. Let's throw out the stockpile. It's there, so why not have it? Oh, you have to open in the box editor though and edit that. So we'll do that real quick. So let's see if the corruption persists when we remove half of these memory writes. It doesn't, so we'll swap and see if it persists. It does. And we can actually remove some of that dragging effect, which I like a lot better because now he's kind of floating, which looks a lot more interesting. So we'll keep moving along. Yeah, now he's just tweaking out in air. $193 addresses, and let's see, 97. $48. Almost there. 24 left. I wait to make sure that the corruption actually has happened. Like, what I could do is I could just invert the disable and remove the disable to make sure, because I know it's probably in the other half. I want to make sure that it is there, otherwise I could waste all the time that I spent disabling these corruptions, just to find out that it was a multi-corruption. So, go through individually and just make sure that the corruption persists, in which case it does. Oh, we have our single rights. We're going to send that to our stash, and from the stash we can send it to the stockpile. I'll call this, Mario, no, Luigi's Galaxy. No, that's a little too namey. We'll call it Luigi throws a tantrum. Like that. And now we should be able to load it without issue. Yeah. I'm curious, there's a couple buttons on the Dolphin Safe State Info window that you guys can't see, called Poke Address? Poke Light Screen. I don't know what that does. I'm not worried about it. We're gonna move on. We'll start blasting some new corruptions. Shaky Luigi. he looks like he's snorkeling. Expect lots of fractals. Lots and lots of fractals. Am I using that word right? I'm not using that word right. Not fractals, it's like, where that sort of stretchy graphic thing is. Yeah, this is neat, it's like Paper Mario. But... not amazing to look at, so we'll move on. Oh, so I'm just remove the audio. Upside down camera, I think. Yeah. What does he do when he looks at the map, though? Just points at this guy. Couple things going on there. Alright, let's play with our address a little bit. It's a little bit higher. We might up the intensity some more, depending on if we get instant results. Yeah, let's up the intensity a little bit. He becomes everything. Luigi, the destroyer of worlds. So some effects persist after he looks at the map, which I like. I wish more of them would do that, but all of them do. Do I want to save this? It looks neat at the beginning. Sort of. We're not gonna... yeah. If I can think of a joke on the name, it's like exploring the body of Luigi. Luigi's Magic. Luigi's Magic School Bus. We're not gonna keep it. More Silent Hill. Lots of little pulls here and there. Let's see if we can adjust that. Let's try more the starting range. We'll bring this way back to like 11,000. That's good. Make crash here. We're running into crashes earlier with this. Yeah, there's a crash. I bet. Yep. Shoot. It seems like that affects mostly what first gets drawn on screen, which makes sense. It's towards the beginning. It's towards the starting address. So we'll lower the intensity a bit. I still want to mess around in this area though. I got a good one before I started the stream too, and I unfortunately didn't get saved in my stockpile, but it was like a really stretchy Luigi, where he was like, it's like he was made of paper. He was like as tall as the trees, and it was maybe uncomfortable. It's good though. Let's try even lower intensity. These ones we can kind of rapid fire. It's a low intensity. We just go through it quickly. Alright, we're not having too much luck, unfortunately. But that is how it goes. The starting address, let's do the middle range. We'll bring the intensity way up. Doesn't appear to have any, at least that I can tell, graphical effects. Also no auditory either. Let's move on. I wonder what the latter half of the starting address is. Okay, I'm not seeing too much. Let's bring it back down to a higher intensity though. Way up there. It's very foggy in the swamp. That's a real far away one. Look at that. Huh. Michael Bay is Luigi's Mansion. Action shot, action shot. You know, as soon as I see the black screen, I go and hit blast target because it's probably not worth staying, and if it is, it will take a couple seconds to load the next one anyways, so if I notice anything, I can keep it. That looks really stretchy. Done. That's not the right order. I love it. Alright, let's keep this one. He's just like, says fuck it as he's looking over the paper. Now let's keep this one. I really like this one. So open this in the blast editor. And we'll start going through this. Now we have a large amount on this one. We have 15,000 memory writes, which makes sense. We have a huge intensity too, so understandable. This one might be tricky to narrow down. So it might stay the same in this. I want to make sure his hand corruption still happens. So not even his hand corruption happens in this. So this could be very tricky to sanitize this corruption. I have to keep re-rolling the corruption in order to get our desired effects. So I'm going to keep doing that until I get both. This part starts early, and his hand freaks out. So that one didn't have it. That one's also kind of funny. Big flashlight. I won't keep that though. If I want to keep this, I could throw it in the stash and sanitize it later. We're disabled. That's almost it, but it's weird how his hand phases through the paper. Let me see. I'm gonna load the original one. This is the original. Oh no, it should phase through. Okay. Perfect. Alright. So we will remove disabled and disable another 50%. So if we see the hand phase through the paper, we can assume that things are working correctly. And if we see him walking, we can assume that they are not working correctly. It's funny how we can take out that hand corruption specifically, still have the skip ahead cutscene. And this is why it's important to sanitize your corruptions. There's so many mini corruptions happening here that I believe as soon as we got to the mansion, I feel like it would crash. I gotta reroll. Oh, we keep missing the hand phase one. Rerolling. There it is. Alright, so not that half. Reroll. Half, reroll. Shoot. There we go. I'm happy with the results on this one. Okay, 23 left. What's there? It's even okay if we leave it with 23. I mean, that's a decent sizable amount. Hey, Baby Blue Ford, how you doing? Good to see you. We're doing Luigi's Mansion corruptions. I've always wanted to do GameCube corruptions, and I'm very happy I can do them now. But we got some like decent results off the bat. Let's see. Make sure we can sanitize this corruption, alright? Yeah, there we go. Kinda has a hand spasm. He loses his patience. Sunshine, that is definitely in the list. There's definitely a couple of those big titles that are actually high on the list. I will probably be planning on doing many of them. Sunshine is one of those. Corruptions are a little lower on the list. I may not be able to do those yet. Towards the end of the month, I'm heading back home. I'm in university now, but so back home, I have a nicer PC back there, so I'll be able to do some more powerful games. So I'll probably move on to weak corruptions, maybe do some Galaxy, stuff like that. Now with 6 here, I think this is as good as we can get. We can try manually disabling some of these. Can we? Yeah, we can. Yeah, we actually got 3 corruptions here that I believe had the desired effect. Just double check one last time. Yep, perfect. So it's these 3 rights. A brings us to the advanced scene, B makes his hand spasm, and C, this is one other thing which I'm not sure. We're going to send that to stash down here. And from the stash we can throw it on the stockpile and call this Luigi gets frustrated. Alright, we're ready to move on. I think corruptions would be a lot of trial and error, especially since we don't have the pre-described memory domains that we can mess with. So we'll be doing mostly guess and check. But luckily, we do have some interesting ones in between. Oh shit, that's a crash. That'll keep us entertained. Nice camera roll there. I had a nice stretchy boy one earlier. I am so sad when I was setting up everything and making sure it worked alright. I had like a perfect stretchy boy. Had that save state ready, then my audio wasn't working for OBS, so I restarted and I forgot to save the stockpile. Lots of camera corruptions here. Must be around this range, is the camera effects with the camera movements. Actually, yeah, it sure seems like it. Just one thin slice of paper. I ran into one similar to this earlier where it was like a nice dark aesthetic. Was it just one flashlight? I think I saw that. We've had a lot of like stretchy ones and ones where I messed with the flashlight. I decided not to keep one of these earlier, however I kind of want to keep this. It looks nice. I like the dark effect. It looks great. I'm going to throw this in Blast Editor. Because earlier I decided not to keep it, but now why not? Fills it up. And it should just be one memory, right? So we don't have to worry about doing a lot of re-rolling here. Got rid of that stretch effect, which is great. And we got a single memory right here. Send it to the stash, and from the stash throw it on the stockpile. And we can call something like, why not Dark Moon? Well, that game wasn't necessarily that dark. We'll call it True Night. True Night Time. That time one word or two? True Night. I'll do that. Alright, and we'll keep moving on. I had one similar to this earlier too, where he kind of just fucking threw a tantrum, to be honest. Unfortunately, this one crashes. So I won't be able to keep that one. That's a good one. Helicopter shots. Uncle Lakitu, yeah, that's a good one. I'm sure if I do, or once I do Mario Kart for the Wii, we're gonna get a lot of Drunk Lakitu. We just mentioned if you played it on the horizon from old Tube TV. Lots of black screens, but that's alright. You can try lowering your starting address a bit. Approaching crash territory. Oh, looks like Venus. Huh. Also tried lowering our intensity. We may have it a little too high. This is definitely like camera range. Bring it a little bit lower. I like the single flashlight there. The light's walking ahead. Luigi's being held back by his clothes. Upside down one. Kind of far away camera though, it looks a little stretched. Move on. I like that fog. If that were to stay, I would love it. Oh, no Luigi either. Huh. Oh, I want to keep that one. I think I do. I like what he does with his hands. More time. You can even skip ahead a little bit. His hand like it almost looks like it packs him, yeah. Yeah, right over there. Right. Alright, let's open that in Boss Editor. We should be able to get it at least rid of the fog effects. Unfortunately, the problem with corruption like this is we know there's no Wraith either. So unfortunately with a corruption like this, the actual corruption we're looking for is a little bit into the playtime. So we have to wait a couple seconds every time we want to test, which can be unfortunate. We'll see if we get lucky. We can always speed it up though. But that one worked. And also get rid of the fog effect, which I'm happy with. His hand still freaks out. Yeah, we're getting lucky. Alright. 281 to go. This one shouldn't have it. I don't believe. No. No. If we see Luigi, we can assume that the corruption is not working, I believe. Yeah, that seems to be the case so far. There we go. I'd say we got pretty lucky with that RNG. Two left, it's probably just one of these. Yeah, that's the one. Alright. We have our single instruction. We'll throw that to the stash. And I need to name this something. I'll do something like Polish, like Mr. Hand Attacks, but doesn't seem too interesting. Like Luigi attacks himself. Yeah. Fortunately, with the stockpile, I don't believe we can throw notes on this, so I do want descriptive names, as opposed to before I could do sort of a general name and then throw like a note about what it's actually supposed to be in the comments. At least with the Windows Glitch Harvester, there's no going about that. Alright, we can move on. Blast some more targets. Huh. Out of context, that sounds like they loaded that. It just came from... Oh, look at that. It's a mansion, isn't it? Out of context, that sounds like I just loaded that part of the game and put that music in there. So out of context, maybe not too interesting, but you know, in real time, it was pretty neat. I dig it. We'll move on though. It certainly sounded neat. Nice roll to it. There's a good upside down one. I'm waiting for a good upside down corruption. I don't believe this is up though, and usually when it's upside down, interesting enough, it brings the camera back, so I haven't seen one that's up close. We'll move on from here. Speed Luigi. He really wants to get to that house. Let's try messing with the intensity. Raise it up a bit. Let's see if he still has Speed Luigi with him. He actually got that early. The sound cue wasn't ready. But he's still there. Alright. Huh. Like everything's compressed to this like small little looking hallway kind of thing. Cool looking. Another decent upside down one. Not ready to save it though. Like black for this one. Oh, of course. Ooh. Ooh. This one I would want to save because the scene is correct. So we're in the right scene, but we have the wrong song. And I like that. So we're going to keep this one. Open this in the blast editor and see if we can preserve that music. I'll quickly try to run through this so you don't have to hear it too many times. Mancino. I had to Google that to look what that meant. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Mancino? I'm not very multicultural, sadly. I wish I was. Good. And good. Good. Wow, we're going this quickly. I'm not sure. Let me Google it again because maybe I spelled it wrong. Mancino. See, like ancestry.com links, and like it's a last name for some people in white pages. I'm not entirely sure. I thought maybe it was a reference I didn't get. This one's good. And real. Mancino. Mancino. Oh, it's a Pokemon. Okay, that makes much more sense. Thank you. To look what it looks like. Okay, yeah. But we'll name it after that too, just because I feel bad for not understanding what that was at first. So we'll send it to the stash, and we will call it Luigi's. Still probably not even pronouncing that right, but Makino. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm talking, don't worry about it. Alright, we'll move on. I like the sound regardless. Okay, I like that up close and personal shot. And this is the upside down one I was looking for. It's actually my perfect. Except we only see a really tiny bit of Luigi, which makes me sad. Wish we saw more of him. Yeah, we're gonna move on. If I could just get that camera a little more on its face, I'll be happy. I'll look for a very specific corruption for my upside down one. Lots of camera angle ones here. I think even more towards the beginning of the range, like towards the very starting address, we'll mess with the objects. And in this like 500,000 range is mostly camera angles. Oh, that was an interesting one. Wait, is this anything? No, Luigi. I'll go back one. Okay, that's also not a bad one. Yeah, I have the freak out hand, so we'll ignore that one, but I want to check out this one. What's Luigi doing here? Oh, there's one back, wasn't it? Oh no, it's the same one. Wait. I'm puzzled. Only different save states are. I'm selecting from the stash history. Does it only do the most recent one? Oh, I see. Ugh. Is this one store? Oh no, it's always gonna be that one. Okay. Ooh. I'm still figuring out the Windows glitch harvesters. That's a little bit different than what I thought. Hmm. So how do I stockpile after the fact? It's the question of the evening. A lot of stuff that I have disabled that you can't take a look at, unfortunately, so you're not able to see any of that. Well, these are save states. Luigi. Yeah, this one's missing Luigi. I'm trying to see if I can load my previous ones from the stockpile. Let me quickly take a look for that. You don't find any info on that.
Hello?
That's neat. Little music one. Oh, there's another YouTube video. And birds. I missed that one. Well, we might have to figure that out a little bit later. Let me start netcore. State. I think I'm gonna keep getting this one. Blast target again. See if I can get different corruption out of it. State not found. That would make sense while we're having trouble. Because I can't find my save state. Well, we're going to keep creating corruptions for the time being, and I will figure that out as time goes on. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. I gotta figure out how to manipulate the stockpile so I can load that into Dolphin as a save state. I'm not entirely sure how to do it off the bat. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Oh, move along. Who is learning? Some crashes around here and some black screens. Come on, camera. Let's bring the intensity. Oh, we're getting some interesting ones. Let's bring the intensity up. Higher intensity will take a little bit longer to load, which is alright. This is some time to look at the current corruption while it's loading the next one. Unless it's just a purple screen. Looks like Mario's hat at the very end there. Oh, I think I know one way I can load corruptions. Well, this is kind of a workaround, which I don't like, but like the opening in the blast editor, and then yeah, that works. I don't like that a lot. So I've opened the blast editor and executed from there. That loads the corruption, oddly enough. The case for all these, I'm just doing it wrong. I believe that's the only way to do it. Shoot. Until I figure out another way. Alright, well, anyways. I'll keep going along. Sorry about the confusion all. Sound to it. Sounds like Luigi's just screaming in the background. Oh, it died. Alright. I was bringing the intensity down. That's probably a bad idea. Have I missed an upside down Luigi? Shoot! I love upside down Luigis. Oh yeah, the Luigi throws a tantrum one. Yeah, that's a good one. You know, I guess should try. We can re-roll these. I just figured out. So we should try re-rolling some of these. Let's do the upside down Luigi. So roll plus inject. Really, we'll do that. Yeah. And I just want to verify that this hasn't been messed up in the meantime, right? Yeah, it still works. Okay, great. Oh, there's some buttons down here I didn't see. I don't select any of them though, so don't worry about there. I should have like a nice manual for the glitch harvester. Unfortunately, I don't have a little bit of documentation on their GitHub, a little bit of documentation with the real-time corruptor. Not a whole lot. A lot of it's labeled "do." They're gonna do it later. But, nothing for right now. Also, a lot of sound corruptions. It's the same one over and over again. I'm not sure where it's pulling that from. Oh wow, we're right up next to the mansion here. Yeah, weird like triangle Luigi. Some neat effects going on there. First person Luigi's mansion? Yeah, that. I wonder if we make that look nicer. Huh. Yeah, let's give it a try. I'm doubtful that we can, but it is always worth a try. So not that. Yeah, it's like tunnel vision. Yeah, we did improve it. Perfect. Remove that. Sanitize duplicates if there are any. Okay. Keep trying to improve that if we can. Also, that's a good name. I'm going to name that tunnel vision. That's a neat one. Alright. Happy with the results of this. And we're not messing up the core corruption that much, which is also extremely good. I was worried that the tunnel will start getting messed up, and Luigi will start getting messed up, and we had to pick and choose our corruptions. But now this is just one memory right, I imagine. I love single instruction corruptions; they're the best, and you can re-roll them for even more interesting results sometimes. It's great. We're down to 6. Down to 3. Alright, and there's our single instruction. Send out to the stash. And I like that naming convention. We're going to use tunnel vision. Thank you, blue board. And I'm curious, can we reroll that? Reroll plus inject. Yeah, that does appear to be doing it, the one we had selected. Oh man, that's like a super dark night. What's wrong with Luigi's face? I kinda like that, like it's like an X-ray. Where's it goes? Both are viable options there. Curious when he looks into the engine what that looks like.
Hello?
Oh, nothing. Alright. And I believe if we open this in the class selector, yep, we just have the one, which makes sense because we're only re-rolling, which is re-rolling the value we sent to that address. We can throw this immediately on the stockpile and call it... I think X-ray is a little more descriptive. I want to do something with ghosts, but it may not be immediately apparent. X-ray vision, just like tunnel vision. One that was derived from it. We'll inject a little bit more. I also like this persists after the menu screen. That's neat. Yeah. Keep going. Same effect there. The same. Oh, because I'm not rerolling. That's why. Should be rerolling. Okay, we got X-ray, but just a horrific one. Is his eyes like super big? What's wrong with his eyes? He's only got half a map. Oh yeah, right over on that side, of course. Okay, cut all the graphics in half. That's neat. Let's reroll. Super tunnel vision. Okay, I'm happy with the results. We got 2 out of that. Let's quickly check these other ones. I want to reroll the others, now that we know rerolling works. This one's the Luigi attacks himself, which is a hand corruption. This time he doesn't have hands. For Luigi. He still found his way, and that's all that matters. And no hands. Oh, we got hands, but not too worried about it. Let's try True Night, which is that super dark looking screen. Not too much luck with that, so we can move on. We have Luigi gets frustrated. We kind of rolled in place. We're getting a lot of camera bugs here, so may not be able to do that one. And that's all of them. So, we'll create some new corruptions. It's almost like a nice dynamic camera. Got rotational. Super zoom. Upside down. Too far from the camera, though. Too far from Luigi. When you set the FOV to 30. True that. Oh, jeez. When you're all zoomed in like that. Oh, boy. Luigi's really bent up about losing his brother. A very strong breeze. Are they at tree roots or tree tops? Right tops. I said this a little earlier. You might notice on the side of Luigi's cheek, occasionally it will kind of glitch out. You'll see his teeth. That is the only thing that's not a corruption in this. That's actually just my dolphin settings. It helps compile the game a little bit faster, so that's normal actually. That's true, that is concerning. Which makes sense since you're going up to a ghost mansion. Another FOV one. Alright, let's try lowering the starting address a little bit more. Approaching even more towards crash territory. We'll re-roll this one. This is similar to the tunnel one actually. Must be near the same address. That's kind of a cool looking one. Huh. Fly by the skybox. Oh, that last one. Do that one again. His body looks weird. Well, I think it kind of looks weird, so yeah, we'll move on. Oh, there's the first crash. I was waiting for that. Alright. It's fairly quick.
Needed.
All two crashes in a row. Ooh,
Needed.
getting lucky. Here's what this blast until effect button is. I don't know what that does. I'm gonna keep hitting it though. Shoot.
Needed.
Oh man, okay, I gotta adjust the range. Too close to the
Needed.
starting address. I'm gonna bring that up. Crash heavy around there. Yeah. Backwards flashlight. Oh boy, we are in a rout of bad luck. Get far away from here. Let's bring the starting address way up and the intensity a little down. And hopefully that'll bring us some more good luck again. We got the same hand glitch again. That's funny. Or, Luigi gets frustrated. Oh man. Flashlight has waves on it. Alright, let's mess with some higher addresses. Bring it up a little below mid-range. See if we get anything here. I wasn't running into any actual physical options up in this range. Again, I also didn't hear any auditory ones, so I wasn't exactly sure what I was corrupting here. Bring the intensity way up to see if we notice any changes. Does mean we will have to wait a little bit for the next corruption to queue up. That's alright. Alright, let's try changing the starting dress. Get over here. Yeah, not seeing too much. Let's go towards the end of the spectrum. That's mostly the stuff within the mansion, or we're just messing with really the intro cinematic. Again, that sort of face glitching is all. It's my dolphin. And that naturally. Safe state found. Shh. Silly. Oh, shoot. Unhandled exception. Harry, what are you doing? Bring the intensity down. Safe state still found. Yeah, there we go. This might just all be engine stuff like assets and whatnot, possibly. By the way, we're not having luck with that range. We'll mess with just the intro cinematic a little bit more, and then we'll move on to mansion itself. Now I'd be testing out other engines and different variables, but we don't have too much to mess with within the Windows glitch harvester, which we're using for our GameCube. And we may have too high of an intensity here, so I might need to knock that down a bit. And with the first two being failures, I'm going to do exactly that. Oh, we got tunnel vision again. And even more interesting tunnel vision. We got some trees there. The trees in the background. Alright. So down, but yet too far. I was trying a higher intensity. Maybe, yeah, third higher. The starting address range a little bit lower. I don't want to crash too often though. Half it. You're seeing like sideways one. Huh. Actually turning my head to take a look at this. But it stops there sadly. Ah, and then we get a crash. Played with the devil.
Needed.
Raise the starting address a bit. Shoot. Launch. And here. There we go.
Needed.
Got lowering the intensity a bit. Bad because it's right in that range that we gotta corrupt, but unfortunately it's crash heavy. Oh, the last one might have had something. Heck. Nah, not much. Flashlight. Ooh. It's a flashlight. Oh, it's too bad the camera angle's off. We can not crash to shoot. So many things. Otherwise, I would love to. I saw one similar to that earlier that I wanted to keep, but I didn't. Run into it again. Let's hope those were his gloves. Shoot. Load again.
Needed.
Doing a low intensity towards the starting range. I'm gonna mess with that data a little bit, which we haven't seen too much of. We might get lucky with these crashes. That may not be the case. I think on next crash we'll call the intro cinematic good and we'll move on to gameplay. I keep tempting the devil here though. And that's our next crash. I want to give it one more go. There's one last crash. But it won't take too long, I'm sure. As we start seeing some decent ones. Alright, we'll call it. I feel like there's something there that I want to grab, but luck is not on our side for that. So, they're all plugged in. Let's start. Controller setup. Enough. Data controller, configure. Just like the device. Oh no, so having trouble with that. That's funny. Silly dolphin. Oh, I gotta set up my controller. Oh man, alright. It'll take me a sec. X and Y. Listen to some wonderful glitchy music while we're waiting. Because it doesn't run fantastic on my computer, but the intro cinematic certainly does. And so does a couple other rooms. And I need to reset up my controller. I did have Dolphin working before, but this is a modified version of Dolphin. Not the analog. That is the clicker. Called Nary's Dolphin? What is this? Nary's mod for Dolphin. Okay, I think I'm good. I set this at dead zone. I can never get the dead zones quite right. The Xbox controller and analog sticks are a little loose. Not terribly, but as much as you would imagine. Is that good? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. Close, good. Alright, let's start. Did I have to save a profile? If I did, I'm gonna be angry. And then I'll carry it over. Oh, okay. If I wasn't corrupting this cinematic, I probably should have been doing it here. I don't know necessarily if there's a difference or not. Hopefully not. We still seem to get some interesting graphical corruptions. And I don't think they load the mansion in any other way. I think it's still loading, maybe not a cinematic file per se, but same assets, so I don't think we were running into any problems there. At least until Luigi got to the mansion. And we're gonna speed through this. We've already seen it plenty of times. Okay. Again, I'm not entirely sure how well this is gonna run on my computer, so I apologize ahead of time for any FPS drops. I should be able to maintain at least 50. So that I can't lock it though. Only the dust that gives me. Oh no, I've streamed. I streamed Luigi's Mansion. I forgot. No, I'm good to go. Didn't see I had Luigi Mansion playthrough. Just did it all in one go for 5 hours. I haven't played this game other than that one playthrough in over 5, 7 years, something like that. What I like to do, I'm sorry, Eglad's Laboratory, how do you pronounce that? That's what I'm going to be corrupting, so I'm waiting for that cinematic, or that part of the game. That's why this is taking a moment. Okay. I think right here when he says, "Oh, I wanna skip the dialogue or not." Wait, I'll do it here. I think. And let me sure. So I made a save state. I believe it's gonna be in the same slot, so I should be able to blast this target. Oh, great! Look at his glasses. All right. If you're ever curious what his eyes look like underneath the glasses, there you go. Like pixel height. Do I want to save this on the save state? I don't know. Let's. Can I right click this and rename it? No, I can't. I'm gonna keep that at the top of the stash history because I'm curious if I want to keep it. We're gonna see how the rest of these corruptions go. If the rest of them are interesting, we might not even keep that one. Oh, we may crash. Okay, let me throw it on the stock pile. That means I need to blast it. Alright, do this real quick. Alright, let's also throw that in the stash because I want to keep that in a second. That one's a Luigi. And I hate saying that. But if we're disabled. And let's try this one. This effect might be hard to keep. Yeah, it's hard to keep. Alright. I want to make sure I am doing the right one. What's the top of the session shoe? Was it this one? Wait a moment. Things aren't working right. It should be thick Luigi. And it's not. Okay. I am confuzzled. Ooh, because we edited the single save state and it uses references. Pointers. Shoot. Okay, well. We're starting from fresh. Scratch. If we see one we like, we will immediately throw on the stockpile. And hopefully not crash as often.
Needed.
Wait a minute, that one was inappropriate. Let's go back to that one. Select the item. I'm doing something wrong here. I think. Because the corruptions aren't staying as they were when I immediately looked at them. Unless I got a couple back, I don't think so. Oh, that one just straight shoot. Alright. Well, I'm gonna stop going so quickly through it. And I just want to save one if I can. Oh, shoot. I should adjust my range. I should also be doing that because this is not ideal. We'll bring the starting range higher. I'll remember in my mind that 200,000 was a pretty good range because we had a lot of corruptions happening there. Huh. So we have the glasses corruption again, and we have sideways Luigi. Stream's not bad. I think that's enough to say how it's going, isn't it? How's your stream going? I think I want to keep this one. It's all runs the issue. Oh. I want to keep this one. I'll keep moving. I like the aspect ratio to adjust to. But I like, I'll keep moving. The sideways one. Good. That's good here. Shoot, we're crashing a couple times though. What are you doing on your stream, Red Dead?
Nintendo.
Or some 1 hour, 1 life? I like this one. Okay, I want to keep this. A, we got some interesting pants physics, and B, the power is out, so we can throw those both from corruption. This may be 2 separate corruptions, so it might be a little interesting to open the blast editor. I may run into some trouble. Oh, my blast editor. Okay, there's some strange things going on here. I'm gonna throw it on the stockpile. Just say temp keep. I wanna export my stockpile because I don't want to lose this, and I want to restart everything because I'm running into some odd glitches here. So I'm gonna call this we just mentioned stockpile. And I want to verify I can import that. Oh, cannot be read properly. That's concerning. We're gonna remove True Night. We're going to load stockpile. That worked properly. Okay. So I am safe to close everything down now. I'm going to do. Very cautious that we're not going to lose all of our work that we just worked on. I've been having a little bit of trouble with RTC lately, which has been unfortunate. I'll resolve my issue soon. I'll get things started here. Hopefully fresh this time. Yeah, there we go. Correct version, good to go. We're going to now load our stockpile. Load a target loaded. Load our save state. And sorry about this, should be just another moment. Thanks everyone for your patience. Loaded. I need to start the pour. The problem when stuff starts crashing, you have everything all set up and then you gotta redo it. There's no worries. Alright. Do we load or import? I think we just load. Okay. Yes. Okay, everything's saved. I was worried about that. Alright. Unfortunately, I don't think we can throw the current corruption into the stockpile because my blast editor wasn't working, and I create a save state and throw it in the stash? I think I can. So let's do a save state here. Now I should be able to target that save state. Because I'll throw my files again. Mask my name, which means I need to start another user profile. That means anytime I want to load something, I have to get the other profile. So here we go, save state 2. That's targeted. We're going to do a tiny intensity. We do 0. Do 1. And blast the target. Should maintain the same corruption. It does. Okay, that's same with the SAS history. The stockpile range. weirdest thing. Alright. Alright, so I'm giving you just a moment here. Hope you're enjoying the music. I want to verify, so now we... The ISO selected as the target? No, we don't want that as the target. We want the save state selected. Ooh, this is some work. So, changing the save state eliminates the stockpile. Why is that a thing? Okay. This is how things should look. Not gonna worry about saving this current corruption one. Keep moving on. I want to verify though that we can load the other ones. So, deck selected. No. Well, this is our temp keep, right? Let's try tunnel vision. Alright, what are we doing wrong here? It's something I crib. It's not a stream without any technical issues, is it? Didn't even respond. Alright, we're gonna take an intermission while I'm trying to figure this out. I apologize. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna mute that audio. And I'm gonna play some music. Because I'm gonna have to play with this for a little bit. The fun of corrupting. That's the one. Alright. And I'll play some music. Let's see. Play some calming music to figure this out. There we go, some Animal Crossing. I'll be right back in a few minutes once I have this all figured out. Alright, so I'm back, and I learned a very important lesson about messing with save states. Don't mess with your save state that you've been using the entire stream so far. So that stockpile is unfortunately lost, and I can explain why. So, stockpile is associated with a single save state, and all that data that was loaded while you had that save state active. And if you mess with that save state, say overwriting it to, you know, a different part of the game or something like that, then that save state is obviously lost. The stockpile doesn't have an association anymore. And I'm trying to reproduce the same corruptions on another save state that was almost at the exact same spot, and I'm not getting the same corruptions. Sometimes I get a similar effect, but not the same exact effect, which is unfortunate. But a valuable lesson to learn. So this one won't be available. However, we will be doing more GameCube corruptions in the future. I'll go and call the stream here. Thank you for everyone who's able to stop by, and we'll go and find someone else here. Trying to get someone else here. Thanks again everyone for watching. If I'm able to preserve this stockpile, I'm gonna try with that. If I'm not, well, you guys know in the YouTube video. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for stopping by again.